Hello again. It is a well-established principle in the UAE that free zone companies are expected to operate from within the free zone in which they are set up in. But is there a way for them to also operate on and from the UAE mainland? I'll take a look at this question in this video. Welcome back to another video on my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yusuf Ahmed and I'm an international lawyer originally from Scotland and the UK. I run and operate my own boutique practice which specialises in all aspects of commercial law. Now, if you're wondering what a free zone company is or how it differs from mainland companies, then this is a topic that I have already covered in an earlier video. A link to it is in the description box below and you can take a look at it if you like to get a bit more of a background on this subject. For those who are already familiar with free zone companies in the UAE, you will probably already know that they are expected to operate from within the free zone in which they are set up in. This could be a bit restrictive for some types of businesses, especially those that have a particular need for a prominent shopfront or an office in a certain location. To take this point a bit further, let me give you a little example. Let's say there is a health and beauty salon or a real estate company set up in a free zone. These being two different types of businesses that may ordinarily have a need for a prominent shopfront or a presence in a certain location. And they are operating from their premises in the free zone, businesses going well and ticking along nicely, so much so that they then decide that they want to grow and expand their existing business by taking a unit or premises outside the free zone. Then in this type of scenario, the general rule is that they can't do it because the free zone company is expected to operate from within the physical geographical area of the free zone in which it is set up in. As a result, this is not only a bit restrictive, but it could also impact on the growth and development or expansion plans of the free zone company, particularly if it wants to have a place of business on the mainland. And therefore, we arrive at the question, is there a way for them to also operate on and from the UAE mainland? The answer, at least insofar as the mainland in Dubai and Abu Dhabi is concerned, is potentially yes. A deal was struck a few years ago between the Department of Economic Development in Dubai, otherwise known as the Dubai DED, and the Dubai Free Zones Council to enable free zone companies to operate in and from anywhere on the mainland of Dubai. A similar initiative was also put in place in Abu Dhabi, with it allowing dual licenses to enable free zone companies to operate in and from mainland Abu Dhabi. These were seen at the time as a way to help further diversify the economy, facilitate growth, development and expansion into Dubai and Abu Dhabi for existing businesses, attract foreign direct investment, improve economic growth rates, and in my opinion it was completely consistent with the pro-business environment that the UAE tends to cultivate and promote. I remember doing a bit of research on this at the time for some clients who were keen to explore this a bit. It is perhaps not common knowledge, so I think it is good information to be aware of in general, especially insofar as free zone companies are concerned. Now, we know that sometimes when announcements are made and these sorts of commercial deals are done between relevant authorities, it can take a bit of time for it to be implemented and be put into practice on the ground. However, the good news is that this initiative was implemented fairly quickly to pave the way for a lot of free zone companies to benefit from it. And literally within 6 months of it having been announced and put in place, it was reported that the Dubai DED had given permission to 163 free zone companies by issuing them with permits to allow them to operate from the mainland in Dubai. So how is it done? Well, for Dubai, eligible free zone companies need to first obtain a no objection certificate or NOC from their respective free zone authority. Once they have that, they can then apply to the Dubai DED for a permit. The application must be submitted to the DED in the prescribed format, and the business activities or services to be covered by the permit must not be subject to any other regulator in the emirate. These are the general rules around it. Provided these are met, the application then goes through a decision-making process, and if successful, a permit is issued allowing the free zone company to operate on and from the mainland in Dubai. Aside from this route, there are other ways in which free zone companies can also look to operate on and from the mainland if this is something that it wants to do. These other avenues usually involve having to set up a form of legal entity connected to the free zone company. There is typically a bit more work involved in these other avenues, as well as higher costs and longer timeframes. The route that I've talked about in this video is supposed to provide a quick, efficient and cost-effective way for free zone companies to grow, develop and expand their existing business, and provide them with a way in which they can potentially operate on and from the UAE mainland, if that is something that they wish to do. As I briefly touched on earlier, this is perhaps not common knowledge, so it is good to be aware of it in general, especially if you have a free zone company in the UAE or have an interest in this area. Alright, that's it for this video. I hope you found it to be informative, and I look forward to connecting with you again in the near future. In the meantime, if you require any advice or assistance with anything, then of course, please feel free to reach out at any time. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.